This presentation is an introduction to what you need to know about logic for writing and defending a thesis or argumentative paper. What is logic? Logic is a science that evaluates arguments. It involves the analysis or breaking down of the constituent parts of an argument and the appraisal or how good the argument is. What is an argument? In philosophy, an argument is not just a verbal dispute. An argument is a group of statements or propositions, one of or more of which, the premises, are claimed to provide support for or reasons to believe one of the others, namely the conclusion. Arguments and non-arguments. One of the most typical mistakes that students make when writing an argumentative paper is presenting a report rather than an argument. A report is a kind of non-argument that consists in one or more statements that try to convey information about some topic or event. There's other types of non-arguments, such as expository passages, illustrations, and explanations. An expository passage is a kind of discourse that begins with a topic sentence followed by one or more sentences that develop the topic sentence. An illustration is an expression that involves one or more examples that is intended to show how or by what means something is done. An explanation is an expression that purports to shed light on some event or phenomenon. Each of the above may be used in arguments, but they are not themselves arguments. There are two typical types of arguments. There's a deductive argument and an inductive argument. A deductive argument is an argument incorporating the claim that it is impossible for the conclusion to be false, given that the premises are true. An inductive argument is an argument incorporating the claim that it is improbable or unlikely that the conclusion is false, given that the premises are true. Deductive and inductive argument forms. There are several different types of deductive arguments and different types of inductive arguments. Deductive argument forms include arguments based on mathematics, on definition, categorical syllogisms, hypothetical syllogisms, and disjunctive syllogisms. Inductive forms include predictions, arguments from analogy, generalizations, arguments from authority, arguments based on signs, and causal inferences. Evaluating deductive and inductive arguments. This involves examining both the inferential claims and the factual claims. A factual claim is a claim that something is true, while an inferential claim is a claim that the alleged evidence or reason support or imply something. When evaluating arguments, we must, 1, evaluate the link between the premises and the conclusion, and 2, evaluate the truth of the premises. A common mistake in evaluating the factual claims is to assume that a premise would be accepted by everyone when it is in fact controversial. You should present only the strongest premises. A weak premise can spoil your whole argument. To the reader, one flimsy premise is a reason to be suspicious of all the rest. It's better to include one good premise that you can support than 5 bad premises that are unsupportable. Inferential claims and indicator words. When reading and writing philosophical essays, it's important to be able to distinguish premises from conclusions. Many arguments contain indicator words that provide clues to help identify the premises and conclusions. Some conclusion indicators are, therefore, thus, consequently, hence, we may conclude, it follows that, it implies that, or entails that, etc. If an argument lacks a conclusion indicator, it might have a premise indicator. For example, the words since, because, given that, for, as, owing to, we may infer from, or for the reason that. When reading philosophy, notice these indicator words, and when writing philosophy, please use them. Validity and soundness. Validity and soundness in deductive arguments. A valid deductive argument is an argument in which it's impossible for the conclusion to be false, given that the premises are true, while an invalid deductive argument is a deductive argument in which it is possible for the conclusion to be false, given that the premises are true. A sound argument is a deductive argument that's valid and has all true premises. And an unsound argument is a deductive argument that is invalid, has one or more false premises, or both. Strength and cogency, inductive arguments. A strong inductive argument is an inductive argument in which it's improbable for the conclusion to be false, given that the premises are true. A weak inductive argument is an inductive argument in which the conclusion does not follow from the premises, even though it is claimed to do so. A cogent argument is an inductive argument that is strong and has all true premises, while an uncogent argument is an inductive argument that is weak, has one or more false premises, or both.